Ich glaube, die Komplexität besteht zum einen durch die Notwendigkeit, immer auszuschreiben. Das heißt, wir haben ja dieses Bundesstellenvergabegesetz, das hat es früher noch nicht gegeben. Und die Stadt Wien hat sich sozusagen dazu entschlossen, eben auch jede Periode auszuschreiben. Das bedeutet, dass man natürlich immer auch eine Unruhe in die Institutionen bringt, weil man muss eigentlich, wenn man zeitgerecht ausschreibt, 2 Jahre vor Beginn der Arbeit sozusagen ausschreiben, in einer Zeit, wo vielleicht gerade etwas sozusagen sich entwickelt. Das war hier besonders schwer, weil wir natürlich diese 2 Covid-Jahre hatten. Also unglaublich schwierig zu entscheiden. Und deswegen hat diese Jury damals im Herbst erstmal geschaut, was sind die Perspektiven, weil man noch die Erfahrungen noch gar nicht so lange haben konnte. Ja? Aber was sind die Visionen für die weitere 5 Jahre und inwieweit ist Öffentlichkeit und der Blick auf Öffentlichkeit auch im Fokus einer künstlerischen Konzeption? Ich habe in der Konsequenz auch meine Haltung gegenüber Jurien und ihrem Fachwissen und auch dass ich immer einen Dialog führe mit Expertinnen, gesagt, okay, was würdet ihr der Politik raten, jetzt zu tun? Und sie haben gesagt, etwas, was die Politik selten macht, nochmal. Und ich habe es getan und haben wir mit dieser Öffnung ein ganz anderes Bewerberinnenfeld gehabt. Wir haben auch die Jury erweitert, um auch wirklich mitzuhelfen bei der Suche. Ganz wichtig. Und daher, glaube ich, war der Vorgang, so schwierig er war und so ungewöhnlich er vielleicht auch sein mag, war der richtige, um zu einer guten zukünftigen Entscheidung zu kommen.
Well, I started working under New Labour Britain, and at that point it was impossible to do any cultural activity without doing tons of inclusion work. What we would now call inclusion work, then we would calling it more like outreach, and so it's always been part of what I've done, and I've always worked very closely with colleagues in education that have different expertise to mine, which is exhibition making. But over the years, I've seen the benefits of this work and really kind of meeting people where they are. So not just putting the program out there and expecting people to come, but also really going out into society and working with different social justice organisations. For example, in Luxembourg, we also do this. And I think that kind of activity can be brought to the Kunsthalle because the Kunsthalle has successfully for a long time now worked with school children, worked with families, but I think there's more that can be done in this city, and I think that if we think about bringing more diverse publics and larger publics, then this has to be done. There are, well, just first to say there's no irrelevant communities, there's no irrelevant groups. I really strongly believe that contemporary art can be for all, and maybe that's easier to convey to people if you're in a museum such as the one I'm in right now, but I've also spent a lot of my career working in very small scale artist-led institutions where I've been very close to the practice of making art, even some with studios, and even those tiny institutions also some of them had outreach programs and very successfully worked with different sections of society. I have yet to really see what's being done in the city and seeing where the Kunsthalle can add to what exists already, because I think we need to bring something that's not already there. And for this I will work very closely with the colleagues at the Kunsthalle that know Vienna much better than I do. I have overseen budgets of very different scales. From tiny, I've made exhibitions with very, very limited resources and very tiny budgets, and now in Luxembourg it's a different scale entirely. So what I don't know yet is the costs of doing things here. The local costs are always something specific from one city to another, from one country to another, and this, of course, I have to get into in the weeks and months before I start programming exhibitions here with Wolfgang. I will be working very closely on that. But I think it's possible to do something. I think there's a lot of goodwill behind this institution. The Kunsthalle has good spaces, it's well situated, and I'm very optimistic for the future. I have, for instance, in the program I'm proposing, exhibitions that also include artists from different generations. There's one exhibition which is about the pre-internet history, a pre-internet take on cyberfeminism. So artists from the 60s, 70s and 80s female artists who were working with technology at a very early point before the 1990s when the term cyberfeminism was coined. And in this exhibition you will know a lot of names, but there will also be some figures that will have been completely overlooked or forgotten, and I will be delighted to bring to Vienna.